Hello, welcome back to Coffee Meets Cloud. How are you ladies doing today?
Mm. I've been
Oh, that
better.
was a loaded. Care to elaborate?
I was on vacation last week and I'm not bouncing back as easily as I've bounced back before. I'm experiencing a little bit of burnout, but
Mm.
I'm glad to see you guys. This is turning my day around.
See, that's what we're here for. We're here to turn everyone's day around, right? Like, this is a safe space to come back from vacation and vent about the fact that you're not bouncing back as quickly as you'd like.
Rachel is unusually silent.
Yeah.
I mean, this
I
is just the
loaded.
reality. It's just reality.
I
Let's
think
have a reality check for just half a second. This is okay. It is okay to just be, you
Well, we
don't have to
said
be
we weren't going to
overwhelmed.
come on here and fake it. So,
Right.
this is real.
yeah, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So I'm working on about like 4 hours sleep. So my peppiness and delusional capabilities are, running a mind of their own at the moment. But we're gonna make it work and we'll figure it out as we go along. I think, work-wise, things are going great, which is great for a change, right? Wasn't necessarily my life before. So it's nice to know that when you make a change and you make an intentional change about what you want to do from a life perspective, that it really can have the positive impacts that you were looking for. So that's going great. But, I think once you get like one part of your life on the right track, then you start, the rumblings in other areas now have the opportunity to kick up. So my dad's been really, really sick. I think we talked about that last time. And he's finally on the other side and is finally starting to come around. So they actually got here really late last night. And so it was a great thing
Oh.
to see them. And now we have them for a bit. And so that's going to be great, but I'm exhausted. And then my aunt flies in at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it's a lot of caffeine in my future.
Most
I think we
definitely.
also talked last time about how school was winding down, like the school year was winding down. And I feel like the universe has immediately come back and bit me for complaining about that because at least I still had a break a little bit
Yes.
during the day. Now, the number of times I hear, I'm so bored.
Mhm,
What can I do? Can I
mhm,
earn some more screen time? What can I do?
mhm.
Now it's if you can't find anything to do, there are 4 toilets in this house that could always use a scrub.
I started um, a list on the fridge that changes out every week. That's like, here are your ways to earn things.
Mhm.
And so, like, one of them is a very high value item. It is called pull the grass in the weed bed by my, trees. Like, you do that? You actually do that? It's time I didn't have to do it.
Yep.
It's worth $50, kid. Like, that's like basically gold, you know?
50
Mhm.
bucks. I'd be out in your yard right now in the flower bed pulling weeds. Be like, $50,
Any day, any day.
right?
Exactly. I'm like,
That's
go for it. I
I'm
may
taking it to
actually
camp.
I may actually call the kids down the street. So this is horrible. Yesterday, these two sweet little girls come to the door. I'm on a call, right? As you guys know, my office is in front of my house, so you can see when I'm in my office. They were very respectful. They did not ring the doorbell because I have a sign that says, please do not ring the doorbell.
Mhm.
Okay. So I had Kinley go to the front door, see what was going on. I texted her. Kinley comes back with this flyer. These little girls are starting a dog walking business, right? So for $5 a day, they will walk your dog twice a day.
That's
So
amazing.
I know, but see, like if I gave him Dolly, she'd run away. So that may also solve
Oh.
a couple other problems. But I figured maybe not the best, right? So, but I thought I was like, but my daughter doesn't want to pull the weeds. So maybe if I call the little girls and I'm like $20, if you pull
Yeah.
the grass,
Yeah.
like
Oh, they
not
would
only do you walk
100%
your
do that.
dogs. Yeah, I mean they're like just getting into middle school, so I feel like $20 a piece, like
Yeah.
might be onto something. Yeah.
See, it's like
Business plan.
on the one hand, I'm really proud that we're doing this whole earn your screen time, earn your
Right.
privileges
Right.
kind of thing this summer because I don't want him to rot his brain out in front of devices and screens. But he's
Correct.
only 8 years old. And so he lacks the motivation on his own. Like he thinks he wants to earn until he starts to do one of said tasks. It's not even 3 minutes and he's coming back going, "Mama, I don't want to do that one. What's another one? What's another one on the list?" And then he'll start that one 3 minutes in. He hates that. In the number of times he stops and restarts a different task, he could have completed one and earned screen time. So I spend more time monitoring than keeping him engaged with something to get out of my face. So that's the way it's going over here.
That's why my kid goes to camp all day, every day, because I don't have time for that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
And-
but when they get to be teenagers, it's still a thing. But there are
Oh,
less
yeah.
groups.
When he gets to be
And-
teenagers, that's it. You're staying at home. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the world of staying caffeinated, I have swapped coffee today. I'm drinking an Alani. I need them to sponsor me or sponsor us because I just need these to
Celsius
come
should
by the
totally
case.
sponsor me.
See, now you've said that name, they'll never do it.
That's okay. This one's the better. This is the better of the two.
Here, look, we'll just throw Accelerate in there. Now we've covered all three markets. So any one of you who would like to jump at this opportunity, it's open.
Alani, if you're
also-
listening, they didn't mean it.
Hey, I also enjoy an Alani from time to time. I just happen to be personally invested in Celsius. It's my favorite. It's my
She
love
owns
juice.
stock in the company.
I might. I
I
buy a couple cases.
look, I am totally open to anyone who would like me to try their beverage. I've tried neither, so
See?
you know.
And you don't like coffee, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
This could be your thing. Rachel could be the tiebreaker. That's what we need to do on an episode.
Taste
Rachel
test.
tries energy drinks.
Yes.
Yes. That's
Yes.
perfect. We're going to do that next
And
time.
really up the ante. She's got to drink the entire can of both. So
Ooh.
we can see
No!
what's back on the
And
other side.
Already
Oh my God,
That's
right. I don't have that much life insurance. My
Oh.
husband does not need to be rich because the two of you made me drink 2 energy drinks. Like,
Listen,
come on.
I'll send you my social for the beneficiary on your life insurance policy.
I need to give credit to the working moms who can get by without an Alani or Celsius because I cannot.
Hats off to those people because I'm not it.
Oh my
Not it.
goodness.
I guess
Oof.
that makes me it then. Because I've
Yeah, but you
I
drink tea.
neither.
I'm talking about these
Mm.
weird people who drink no caffeine. Who are like, I am caffeine free, and it's
Wait,
fabulous.
they exist.
Congratulations, they do
Mhm.
exist. They do, and it's crazy. They say they feel better, but I don't know that I believe it. I think you're just lying to yourself. There's nothing that's better than
Well-
cracking an ice cold Celsius.
Look,
Oh,
The way it hits the
They-
tongue.
oh,
they probably have other issues, right? Like,
yeah.
Outlets. Let's call it outlets. Not they have other ways of their addiction is replaced. It's not an addiction to Celsius or Alani. It is to
Okay.
I think we should probably stop talking because we're just going
Yeah.
to end up in like not being able to be published ever.
That's true.
Hey, no, if you're out there, moms who function without caffeine, call us. Like, send
Give
us a
us your
message. We will-
tricks.
Give us your tricks and let us know. Maybe it's we just don't know something that we should know. Let us know.
We know these drinks are not good for us. We just really enjoy them.
They make me feel more alive. And
All right. Well, now that we've had a really interesting check-in, on to the topic of the day.
the topic of the day, well, it was going to be why admins drink. I don't know if you guys, I know you guys do, but many moons ago, it was a very huge movement in the Twitter, formerly Twitter X community, with a hashtag of #why Salesforce admins drink, because we all get asked stupid, crazy, random, common sense things all the time that make you go, huh? And so there was this hashtag that was started years and years ago around why Salesforce admins drink.
So to the point that hashtag existed so much that the band Apex and the Limits wrote a song that went with that specifically about what was going on, from password resets to, plugging in your computer. I don't know,
Mhm.
the fun universe of Salesforce Help Desk.
But have you tried
Oh.
rebooting? That's my favorite.
Did
Yes.
you turn it on?
To clear your cache.
Yep.
No. My favorite one that I ever saw, and I still remember this to this day. My favorite one I ever saw was someone who said that someone literally called them and said, "I thought you said I could access Salesforce anywhere." And they were like, "Yes, anywhere you can access Salesforce. Are you online?" "No, you didn't say I had to be online." Mm, okay.
For those who
Sure.
can't see us, we all just looked like confused dogs that kind of twerked their head over, like, huh?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, my favorite. This is not why Salesforce admins drink, but I would say this is why leaders drink. Was a lady, bless her. She was a character all the way around, and I'm not going to elaborate too much on that because, but she, in her first week of employment, she was already very vocally over our company and our team, and I still couldn't tell you why. But the cherry on top was she was giving us such an earful about how crappy our equipment was, meaning like our computer equipment, the back in the day where we're all in cubicles. Her computer was not working. It wouldn't cut on. It was da 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 da. And at this point, she was so frustrated by onboarding and how confused she was by systems and technology in general. She was almost shouting about this stuff. And I go out of my office because I hear all this commotion and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm like, tell me, what's the deal? Trying to be calm, trying to be polite. And she's pointing, she's like very pointing at her computer and it's not cutting on. She's pointing to this black screen. And I get down there and look, y'all. We all had like the power strips because, you had like 50 cords running from different things. She did not have the power strip plugged into the wall, into the outlet. She had it plugged into itself. The power strip was plugged into itself,
Nice.
no power, and she couldn't figure out why none of her equipment would turn on. But she hated us, man. Our equipment was terrible. It was definitely the equipment. It definitely was not her.
Definitely wasn't the fact that you didn't plug it in.
Whew, that was fun.
That's like the guy who called me and was like very upset. Like, Rachel, my Salesforce doesn't work. I'm like, okay, let me see what happens. I can't log in. Okay, let me see what happens. He types in his username, types in his password. See, told you, doesn't work. It's okay. Why don't you do me a favor? Right? Erase all that and let's try it again. He erases it, types it in. See, I told you, still doesn't work. I looked at him and I said, your last name is not moron. So maybe spell it correctly because his last name was Moran. And I just walked away. And then I got told, Rachel, please don't tell anybody. So now I tell everybody. And he knows I say this story. So it is what it is. But he was literally misspelling his last name. And that is why he could not log in. But it was just so ironic that you misspell your own last name into moron. And that is why it does not work.
After you're on the receiving end of a couple of those really humbling experiences, you learn to like really word your things intentionally. Like even when you think, even when you're like 99.99% sure it's not your fault, you're still tiptoeing up to it like, I don't know, but I think this has crapped the bed. Like, I'm going to say I don't know to leave that little bit of room for me to be wrong. So I don't have to eat crow. But I'm pretty sure your stuff's not working.
I feel like there are always those people who start their conversation with you, jump into conclusions, and then they turn around and they're like, yeah, next time I'm going to be a little bit more tactful about how I approach this because now I feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through and read some of the funny hashtag why admins drink posts, and we can comment on those. I feel this first one deep down in my soul. Close lost opportunities with 100% probability.
How does that even happen? Does somebody come manually change it or they set it up wrong?
Could be both.
Okay.
No, this lost opportunity. Yeah, we're gonna get it.
I mean, it's 100% lost. You're 100% not getting that business.
Right? Right. Here's one.
Uh,
Can't you just import a list of every company that exists so I don't have to enter them in, like from Dun and Bradstreet? Sure. I guess you could load all those accounts. Oh,
Okay.
this one is 100% right here. No, wait, I hear you, but for the 300th time, that's only the preview of the report. How many people have had reporting issues?
Guilty. Okay.
Oh.
The number of times I have forgotten that when you're looking at a history report, you're going to see nothing in the preview. And
Zero
I like,
things.
yeah, I stopped there. I'm like, oh, great. Okay. We're not tracking anything on this object. And I hit run. I'm like, oh, wait, that's right. That's expected.
I can't tell
Oh.
you how many times you're teaching someone how to do reporting in Salesforce and they're like, see, it's only telling me I have 25 records and I know that I've got 10,000 records in here. Well, that's the preview. Like, run. Oh, you have told me that before. Oh, let's talk about this one, talking about reporting. Who hates multi-select pick lists? The bane of my existence.
That's what it says?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the why. I thought there was something going on.
No, that's it. Like multi-select pick list. Why Adam?
That's it. Yeah, punchline. That is the punchline. Okay.
It's the whole thing.
You ever wonder? I mean, I guess you have to keep that data type around because there are legitimate reasons, but like admins and developers will go so far to avoid those. It's almost like, why do we even still have it? You know?
Or I have seen a pick list for like true false or yes, no, or like, yeah, like let's.
Okay, in the defense of some people, because I have done this before, if you need them to give an indication one way or the other and you want to make sure they don't skip it, the only way to do it is in a pick list to say yes or no. Because if it's a checkbox, you can't put a rule around it.
That's true.
So I'll give a little bit of grace there. But I have definitely seen it applied in ways like, bro, no.
Yeah.
The one you said about reporting made me think of another one that drives me crazy. And this is not specific to Salesforce. I feel like all technical people can resonate with this. When you send me an issue you want me to debug or solve for you, and your screenshot is like 1/8 of your screen.
Oh, God.
Can you please give me some context about what all was going on in your computer when that was happening?
Or just when you log a bug on a UAT and you just said didn't work.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't know.
Hey, it's broken.
Right. And then I call you and you're like, well, I don't know what I was experiencing at that time, but I'm not going to let you cancel this bug out because I told you it didn't work.
Not only am I not going to give you a screenshot or any detailed context about where I was when I saw this experience, but I'm also not going to tie my bug to like the test scenario I was testing for. I'm just going to give you a bug that's just floating around in the ether. And
but the best part of that whole thing is, and you can't cancel it.
Right.
You have to go figure it out.
Yeah.
Which, takes us to, that can take you to a whole other episode, which is UAT. Useless testing. Useless but testing. I despise everything about UAT.
I like that. A useless asterisk testing.
There you go. Exactly.
Ooh, that should be on a t-shirt.
It should.
UAT is in, it's like in parentheses, and then it's, that would make an amazing t-shirt.
Okay, we're gonna do it one day.
Our first swag. Our first swag. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Sponsored by Alani.
Yes, let it be done on both counts. Let it be done.
I'll take it. I do love some Alani as well.
See, I knew this was going to turn my mood around. I'm already happier than I was when I dialed in.
See, Exactly.
This whole notion of why I just say like why we drink.
Mhm.
The management of humans lately,
Ooh.
I am not a huge people person, and I will admit that. Okay. But
Mhm.
some of you people make it really hard to change that stance. Like,
I like people, and it's hard.
Me too. Exactly.
it's, and it's those experiences of like everybody says, oh, getting leadership, it'll be great. And I'm like, yeah, your therapy bill just goes up. Like, that's kind of the trade off. But I think recently, like when I first became a manager, I have a feeling like the world was not as crazy. And with everything going on in the world today, like when so many people are having so many different experiences, and especially if they're a person that like really relies on social media for their identity, which is a huge crisis in our country and in the world, quite frankly. It's really hard for those people that create these online identities and these online ecosystems to come into a workplace and be successful when they encounter someone who's not like them.
Mhm.
And their ability to understand that it's not like them, and like that it's okay that that person's not like them, and then their reaction to that and having to manage through that, like, that's not a ha-ha one, that's like a, "Yeah, no, I'm really gonna have a glass of wine over this one,"
Sure.
because it's a real struggle, right? Like, and as a leader, you wanna help both sides of the equation, right? Like, you want your team to be successful. You want to have a high performing, high successful team, but unfortunately, the reality is not everybody can make that journey, and that
Mhm.
whole process of trying to manage you up or out is exhausting.
Well, and I just feel like too, people, I mean, myself included, but the conversation should be the conversation about being a leader or going into leadership should be more nuanced about what you want to lead. Because there's such a difference between being like a technical leader who likes to train and teach and share knowledge versus someone who just has a passion for people and seeing people meet their full potential and find happiness in their work life. And and you
Well,
how do you unless you have a tiny baby team, you can't have the I don't think you have the capacity to do both very well, like the bandwidth. And two, I think they take very different types of personalities. Like having the emotional maturity to be a good people leader is a lot different than having a technical maturity and teaching style to make you a good technical leader, you know?
well, and there's the difference too between leader and manager, right?
Yes.
Right.
Like a
Yes.
lot of people think that a leader is someone who manages work really well. And I think a leader doesn't manage work at all, right? They lead a
Mhm.
team and the team is inspired to do the work and the team self manages. And I think what you're hitting on there, Jeremy, of like technical leader versus non technical leader versus visionary, right? I think an organization takes all of those types to run. I think what a lot of organizations end up with, though, is having the right people, but in the wrong mix, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, like, you'll have some teams that are structured the right way and they're high performing, but they get brought down because other teams aren't in that same mode, right? And it's that constant shift and struggle. And I think, too, as you evaluate your career, it's okay to say, I no longer want to do the technical side, like that I want to take a step back. I want my weekends back because I want to see my kids,
Mhm.
because your life changes. But I think we also have to normalize that because I think right now it's seen as a negative. It's not seen as a positive of you taking control of your life by making that decision or by getting into a leadership role and saying, you know what, this isn't for me. I want to go back to being an individual contributor, right? And that's seen as like, I can't believe you would take that career step backwards and that huge negativity and weight that comes with that. And so I think it takes a very brave person to admit it and to then do it, you
I
know?
give kudos. I give a lot of props. I mean, I know some people. I work with some people who know they have zero. They're phenomenal and they are great teachers, but they just know they would be miserable being a people leader
Yeah.
and doing the things that come with that. So they don't.
And good for them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it
we
can,
sort of pivoted, but I drink for these reasons.
it's okay. That's fine. That's what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a good one. User enters bad data and then complains about bad data in the system.
Shoo. Okay. Let me not go off on a tangent on this one too. But what is the analogy you always use, Cassandra? We own the house, not the furniture.
Right.
Is that what you say?
Yes, because we
I
do. I
know
own
people-
the house. Salesforce belongs to me. All the furniture, which is the data, that's somebody else.
I'll
I
build
don't
you the
what
house.
put
I'll
in.
build you the rooms. I'll give you an addition, several additions if you find that you need them.
I'll put an elevator in.
But
if that's
I'm
what
not
you
an
need.
interior designer. I don't load it
Correct.
with furniture.
Correct.
And when you
That should
realize you
also
bought
be on a
furniture that
t-shirt.
you actually hate, why are you blaming the house?
It's not the house's problem.
I could probably spend 30 minutes just going down that analogy road. Oh, there's a lot of good ones in that. Yeah, I echo that one big time.
Yeah. When they say, "Can you guys help us load some data?" the answer should immediately be no.
I really do I have to?
Do I? Why? I drink.
You know, let me show you this really cool thing called Data Import Wizard. Just go right over here.
Right, exactly. Oh, let's see what else we got over here. What is the URL for Salesforce.com? That's probably an old one because now there's so many custom domains and all the things like.
But can't you still get to all of them from login.salesforce.com?
No, I don't think so.
No,
You have to know
can't.
your custom domain.
For some of them, you do. It depends on the security settings.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
I still think that's like asking, like, what is the number for 911?
Right.
Right? Like, can you tell me what the phone number is for 911? Like, that's the same concept of like, can you tell me what the login is for Salesforce.com?
I mean, I'll try to play a little bit of devil's advocate. I feel like the longer
Why?
well, you know, the longer and longer you do these types of jobs, the further removed you get from being that novice user. So like
Yeah.
I can kind of vaguely remember I'm sure I said some really stupid things to my old admin team when I was
I don't know if you said
But-
anything that dumb.
Okay. So let's also talk about the evolution of society, right? I feel like, especially with kids these days, that like their whole lives are online. They've
I'm
never
already
known
behind.
it not being online. Right. It's like, I don't think that would be a question today just because like I think this generation is so far beyond that, right? I think that was definitely for the OGs that were doing this back when the internet first started of like, hey, what do we
Years
do
ago.
here?
Or the other part that kills me, like, okay, so what's the URL for Salesforce? But also when the way an organization has rolled out Salesforce and they've branded it so heavily for their company and not communicated very well during a rollout and nobody understands that they're using Salesforce.
Oh, change management.
The conversations, the questions, and oh my gosh, I just
On an unrelated one, just again, why we drink. When because you're in IT, everybody thinks you can fix their computer.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I can't even fix
parents
my
are
own
older.
computer.
Right. My parents are older, so I play IT all the time. I literally get a phone call the other night that was like, "Hey, is your internet out?" No, it's not. Why? Well, my internet's out. I can't figure out why my internet's not working. Okay. But I did call them the other day and try to reduce my bill, so maybe I canceled it. And I was like, can you come look? So I go to their house and I go in and I'm like, oh, you have a new modem. They sent you a new modem. You've got to set that up, right? So I go through it and like, there has to be more than just the modem in the box. My mom says, well, there's this card that has this QR code and I scanned it, but that's all I did. I didn't do anything that it said.
it might
Walk
not
through
even
the steps. No, it worked. Walk through the steps. Internet. I'm like, guys, I love you. But yes,
it's
to your
probably
point.
also a generational thing too,
It
though, because my mom will call me and do that kind of thing about her TV. And I'm like, I've certainly never worked at a TV manufacturer or programming company
But
before.
we're in IT. We know it all.
Oh, my mother-in-law called me the other day because there was a strange noise in her house. Did I know what that was? I don't even know what room you're in.
Yeah, that's
I
generational.
don't-
My grandmother, oh God, love her. Oh, I love her so much. She'll- I'm sorry. Hold on. We'll be on the phone. She'll start talking to me about. I just don't want. I saw such and such on my Facebook. You know what I'm talking about? That's such and such on my Facebook. This blah blah. No, that's your Facebook. You have somehow clicked into 50 different scam ads for videos and games and who knows what. And those naked ladies you're now seeing on your feed is not my experience. So these things you're talking about, no, I definitely don't know what you mean.
Jamie's grandmother, when she would access Facebook, she'd say, "Hey, did you see on a Facebook today? That's Facebook.
Oh,
Did you
I
see
love
that?" I'm
that.
like, "It's not a Facebook."
Oh, wait, here's one. My poor, and they both do this, my grandmother and my granddaddy. They don't call her Alexa. So they have the echo dots all throughout, but they call her Alexis, and then they don't know why she's not responding. Alexis, turn on the dim light. Alexis. When I'm there,
Oh, that's great.
I cannot. Or my
That's
grandmother will
amazing.
say frustrated.
Oh yeah.
Frustrated. I love her. Oh, I love that woman.
My son's biggest thing whenever he got to where he could really talk was being able to talk to Google. Like when he
Oh.
said, "Hey Google, turn on the lamps," and the lamps came on, it's like a thing. So now all the time, can I turn on the lamps? Can I talk to Google?
Until they get smart enough to know, pick up on the fact that you're telling Alexa to add things to your shopping list. And you get
Once
to the
he
store and you're seeing all these random.
Well, or they start using it to do their homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are we
Yeah.
going to make sure they're actually learning?
I don't know. There was an interesting I was at a talk series the other day, and one of the topics came up of like with the introduction of ChatGPT and all the AI systems and stuff, there's a real issue in colleges specifically where people are passing exams because a lot of exams have gone online, right? And they're passing these papers and everything else off. And they're not learning anything because they're using AI to summarize information that they've come across. And, just like that court case where the lawyer used AI to write the briefing and it turned out it was wrong. And so actually got disbarred for the whole event, right? But a lot of people are starting to do this because it's convenient, it's easy. It's like, do you really want the doctor who got his degree because of Chat GPT to be the one that operates on you?
not it.
ChatGPT is not going to be in the courtroom with them.
No. No.
Oh my
But it's a
gosh.
huge issue. And I think, especially as our kids grow up and get into more and more of this world where AI is going to be incorporated, it's going to be interesting to figure out how it gets navigated. I was watching something the other day, and Dr. Condoleezza Rice was on it, and she was saying that like her biggest thing is like a lot of these things, the way the technology is going right now, lawmakers haven't caught up. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you think about things when they were negotiating things for like nuclear power and stuff like that, that's all within the government. Right. So, that's like a different type of thing. But this is like available to anybody who wants to do anything at any time. And so, how you hold it accountable. Right. And the other thing was, she said, which I thought was really interesting, like, we shouldn't let Europe dictate the laws for American innovation because a lot of the innovation in AI is coming out of America. America hasn't caught up with laws, but yet you've got Europe trying to govern it. And so it'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. But yeah,
It's smelling
scary.
like our next episode topic is what it's smelling
It
like.
really
Because
is.
we could spend another 30 minutes talking just about that. I saw a meme that said when they rise up, they're going to remember who said please and thank you. So now when I talk to ChatGPT, can you please proofread
Thank you.
this paragraph? Thank you. That was perfect. I used that one. I'm telling you.
Oh, I love it.
I'm telling you. Used to be all we had to worry about was our MySpace getting hacked or maybe an iCloud account. If my chat GPT gets hacked, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be burned to the ground. Please, Lord. Please, Lord. Don't do that to
Well,
me.
maybe that's what we need to talk about next time, AI, since we have our resident expert, Miss Rachel Rogers, who literally wrote a book about ethical AI. We can
Oh,
share that with you guys
yeah.
on our next episode and have a whole conversation about. Look at that, Cameron's got it right there.
Wait, is
Wait.
it straight on or is it mirrored?
No, it's perfect. No, yours is straight on. Mine's actually backwards. What's up with
It
that?
looks straight to me. It's
Okay,
correct.
as long as it looks straight to you, that's all.
How do we all have it just within reach here?
Because I'm at my desk.
Well, I am too, but I have a
I'm
bookshelf
just-
upstairs.
Because AI is the topic of the day. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about next time. So, ladies and gentlemen, tune in with us next time so that we can talk about AI and Rachel Rogers' book, AI Blueprint, Designing for Organizations with Humans at the Helm. That's right. I know the title.
Well, there's our
Well, and
teaser for the next episode.
Exactly.
To be clear, what's really funny is none of us planned this to have the book to Karamie's kind of point and within like arm's reach, right?
That's
Or
right.
that would be the next episode. So great minds, people. That's without ChatGPT. Imagine if we would have ChatGPT'd it.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Well, on that note, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thanks for
Sounds good.
joining us. Please like, and subscribe. Follow us on all the socials at Coffee Meets Cloud. Please continue to tune in. And if you've been here for this long, thanks for following that random trail of thought. We appreciate you being
And
here.
taking it back to the beginning, if you're one of those moms that can function without caffeine, email me. I want to know what
Or
you're
if you
doing.
want to be on the pod at all,
Yeah. Let us
holler.
know. Call us.
Holler. All right.
Sounds
See you
Holler at
next
us on social.
time.
Thanks, ladies.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.